YouTube, trust everybody is great out there. Real quick, I got a main man, Jordy Culotta, just swung by the office. He's on his way to work out. Good to see you, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, dig the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A little Under Armour,
Yes,
little UA, ASTswag.com.
AST swag, man. Always representing.
Love it. Love it. Hey, we're going to make this brief as always. I want to talk a little bit and just really shoot the shit, totally casual, about sports business. We love that conversation. We actually just put we got over 5,000 views on a Leonard Fournette video that we put out just a couple of weeks ago on this whole crazy national anthem NFL subject. But we didn't take a political approach. We talked about the effect on someone's brand, and we took a sports business take on it. And I tell you what, we sit on the cursory of the sports world. We represent brands such as Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, we could go on and on and on. Billy Hale, my partner, and myself, we were Nike for 45 years, as you know, and we previously had some agency things we were involved in sports business. So we feel we have some understanding of the space. And, just so much is going out there. What's been I know you've talked a lot, your quick take on what's going on with the NFL from a brand perspective and where that has pivoted the last couple of days?
Yeah, look, this all started with Colin Kaepernick last year, and really it has an LSU tie. Eric Reed, who was a teammate of Kaepernick out in San Francisco, kind of followed him on dealing with the national anthem, speaking out about something that he was passionate about. This was something that he kind of had thought out and used his platform to get his voice out there. And from there, we've kind of seen it snowball. I mean, now I think a lot of people are kneeling during the national anthem that really don't even know what they're kneeling about. But now we're seeing NFL take action. Jerry Jones has kind of spoke up, probably the most powerful owner in sports, nonetheless in the NFL. And now they're bringing all the owners to the table and trying to form some type of rules, some type of law within their guidelines that's going to make their players stand for the national anthem, because it's just disconnecting the league from their customer base too much. I mean, I think everything that's gone on with this anthem, the NFL has recognized that they're only really getting support from about 12% of America. They're talking to a lot more people than that. They're $1 billion business, and they've seen it affect their bottom line. They've seen it affect their television ratings. They've seen it affect their people walking up to the turnstiles and buying tickets and the attendance. So that's going to make people that's going to cause action in sports. When you start affecting people's numbers and money and bottom lines, then owners are going to start paying attention and start writing new rules and guidelines onto how people are going to have to act within their league, within their organization, within their franchise during the national anthem. So that is the business side of it. I mean, those players can use that platform to get their voice out. That's their office, really, on Sundays. But the truth of the matter is that the owners have a lot more money. They cut the checks, and if they threaten not to cut the check because you won't stand up, I promise you will get action. Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty crazy. And we also have a little bit of the sports business DNA. Joe Dean Sr., a connection with us and our families. The late, great Joe Dean Sr., my uncle, I will actually do personal and business. I like to keep some church and state with personal and business. Don't bring a lot of personal into my business these days, but I will with this one. Humbly, I feel, from a sports business perspective, the pioneer to ever walk amongst the LSU administration hallways. Again, from a sports business cutting edge perspective, and that really came from his years at running Converse Rubber Company for 30 years with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and running a major league corporation. And of course, they've had a lot of great sports business minds out at LSU. We feel that Joe Dean Sr. was if not the greatest, one of the greatest. And go ahead. No, he was brought in to clean up a mess. I mean, Bob Broadhead had gone in there and spent just over his head. Spent over his skis. And the reason why they brought Joe Dean in was to clean up the economics of LSU sports. And he did that. I mean, he was successful in doing that and starting to see cash flow in sports like baseball, men's basketball, and really turned around on his way out by hiring Nick Saban and being a part of that process. And turning around what is now, $100 million business in LSU football.
No, it's big time, and hey, JoJo, as we refer to him within the Guglielmo family and the extended Dean family, there was a not the right hire football scenario back in his day, and we won't get into those specifics. And if you knew the behind the scenes details of that, and we won't get into that of what was involved with one of the major hires, it's actually fascinating. But you mentioned $100 million business. It's big time, buddy.
Oh, man.
It's big time. We put out this video of Leonard Fournette. Again, it's not about Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Roger Goodell. Our plea was, Leonard, we love you. You're a great young man. Get off your damn knee. Get off your knee just purely from a branding business perspective. Call the folks at Under Armour. Your agent, Michael Yorkman, he's got to have you on speed dial, right? Mm-hmm. And, it's interesting. Look at the NFL office and look at how NASCAR manages brands. Interesting to think about those two things. And it's been specifically when all of a sudden that merch isn't flying off the counter as much as it usually does. It's real interesting. All of a sudden when Kaepernick doesn't get picked up automatically, there's other things involved in that, I'm sure. But you mentioned what really you've been doing this a long time. And you covered a lot of sports. You're very talented. We've developed a relationship. Your group has been all the way up to Flynn Foster. Jordy Rush has been very, very, very good to our young brand. Specifically at LSU, you talked about this $100 million operation. It's pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It is a business. What have been some of the major pivot points, I would say, is what's changed in the past 8 to 10 years of what you've seen from a business point of view?
Yeah, well, it's major business now.
Yeah.
It is big-time business. It's 365 days a year.
Sure.
It's more than 13 Saturdays in the fall.
Yeah.
It's, college football is consumed now with television, 300, the SEC has its own network that plays 365
Exactly. What is this?
Right,
what is this to?
It's the iPad, it's the iPhones, it's your smart devices, it's everything that has instant access.
Be on the beach in watercolor.
Absolutely. Watching SEC media days.
Or listening to you, watching the game.
Sure. Yeah, that's today's world. It must be accessible all over the place. And, LSU football is what, drives this state.
Yeah.
Really and truly. John Bell Edwards threatened LSU football when talking about education last year because he wanted to get everybody's attention.
Sure.
Because everybody's paying attention to it. So, look, shoe deals. Yeah, you know that very well.
Yeah.
The relationship between Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, and that select school television contracts really have bloated the bottom line as far as athletic administrations go. And then the product that you put out on the field. LSU over the last, let's call it 17 years, has really experienced the golden age of LSU football. They've played for SEC championships, they've played for national championships, they've produced NFL draft picks, they've produced first-round draft picks. So that brings attention to the brand. It makes it and keeps it relevant within the discussion in the world of college football, which goes into everything of ticket sales, television consumption, merchandise, which is so big, and you understand that space so well. So I believe that Fortune magazine ranked all of the major college football programs and had LSU ranked 5th at just under $1 billion in its net worth. So, to give you an idea, it's not just a $100 million business, it's near $1 billion business when you talk about the effect that Saturdays have on the rest of the year. What you put out there on Saturday is the front porch to what you're doing on campus. That is your biggest sales pitch to the world, to America, is your college football team because it has the most interest.
God, I know you're a hoops guy. I wish I could have played hoops, but Clint Rando was nice enough to let me on the team for a couple of years. But the recent news in hoops, and if you think about back to a Sonny Vaccaro, I know you know that name. His idol, Sonny Vaccaro's idol, was Jordy Sr. Pretty fascinating if you read some books about that and the sports agency business and Converse and their market share and what happened with Phil Knight and where Under Armour is now, Kevin Plank and whatnot. It's all just incredibly fascinating. I don't watch as many sports as I used to. All I do is, to be honest with you, is think about what we're doing here and my children and my family and do a little bit of sleeping. But boy, the business piece really, it still gets me fired
Love
up.
it, man.
And I mean, you're in it. You're engaged in it.
To give you an idea about what the basketball hire has done for my business, I'm in sports talk radio. The football program is going to drive the needle in this market, really, for 6 months.
Sure.
Everything from recruiting all the way up into the bowl game. You're talking about I've had Will Wade on 3 times here in football season to talk about opening day practice. Some of the guys that are standing out, what's going on, and people are consuming it. They're interested in it.
Of course,
everybody's seeing interest in the basketball program because you understand the type of personality, and you understand the type of character that Wade is. It's a lot reminiscent. We mentioned Saban back in 2000 when he came on. Mark Emmert, Joe Dean, Skip Bertman, those guys had a foresight to see, okay, let's start using the football program as the vehicle to drive the entire university. And once they did that, they started seeing admissions go up, out-of-state admissions go up, which is where they make a lot of their money, and just interest into the football program.
Sure.
The basketball program can do the same thing. They can do it more locally than it probably can nationally. But Will Wade has gotten that interest so early here in Baton Rouge of kind of galvanizing the fan base in a basketball program that 6 months ago was in shambles. Like thousands and thousands of pieces.
Hey, and it's he was very good to my family. Coach Dale Brown, the preacher. Boy, if you can sell, you can promote.
That's all it is.
And you can collaborate. My dad won't let me say this. Another board member of ours, Kerry Giglino Sr., who played basketball and baseball at LSU. He had the honor of introducing Coach Will Wade. I've not met Coach Wade. And I believe it was a Louisiana Bar Association function several weeks ago. And just came back really, really impressed. And, the conversation wasn't about a pick and roll. It was about this coach's ability to communicate, to articulate. I saw something on social media the other day. He was out at the Dow chemical plant giving a speech to some 300-400 people at Dow. And let me tell you what, you talk about get into the inner fabrication, the inner fabric DNA of Louisiana early on. It seems exciting.
He's a salesman. He's a salesman in everything he does. Recruiting basketball players is a sales pitch. Recruiting and offering people ticket plans and wanting them to buy is being a salesman. Asking people to come out to the arena and support their product. He's selling you. Absolutely. Everything he does is done with a sales background, and he's a great salesman. He's 34 years old, can step into Dow Chemical, where he has nothing in common with 300 people out there. Nothing. But he captures them. You know what I mean? I've seen it happen with him early on. He and I have had a chance to develop a really good relationship before he's even thrown the basketball up, and watching him speak to people, whether it's in a restaurant setting, whether it's in a public speaking setting. I even had the opportunity to see him address his team. Everybody just eyes out.
It's real.
Nobody's blinking.
It's real.
It's easy to feel that.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to wrap it up here. I think we can get you to work out. This guy, and again, Guarantee Media has been so incredible to our young 39-month-old firm, AST e-commerce. It's been incredible. A lot of energy here. And, we're in the brand business. We happen to be in this merch niche. We think we do it differently than anyone with these e-commerce platforms. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for us. But we'll just continue to watch it. I mean, if you're Darius Geis, how many kids did LSU have on NFL rosters?
51 to start the season. And I'll tell you about Leonard's brand because I saw what you put out there. Leonard continues to have Sundays like he did in London 2 weeks ago. Sundays like he did against Pittsburgh last weekend. That brand discussion is a lot easier between he and his representation. It's the parts where he's not producing, which is happening with Geis right now. Geis is seeing his interest from a national standpoint maybe fall off just because he's not producing on Saturdays.
And let me tell you what, the representation that you choose, my God, we came from that space, Billy and me specifically. It's unbelievable, and there's a lot of vampires out there. Because the opportunity is this, Jordy. It's right there. I mean,
there's just so much.
Well, it's so much fun. One of the things we put on before that, average span of a running back is less than 4 years. And that was like, even if you make $75 million, make as much as you can, capitalize on the opportunity. But hey, this is really good stuff. We appreciate you stopping by. We just said let's have a little fireside chat and get you a good workout.
I appreciate it.
Okay, brother. Thank you. Okay.